Hello. As always, we start with acknowledging the traditional owners of the land. We stand on the Agara and Turrbal people. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And we acknowledge that they too went through a regime of genocide and ethnic cleansing, and they too are still struggling until today because someone decided to consider them less deserving of ownership of this land. A few hours ago, Al Ahli Arab Baptist Hospital was bombed by Israeli weapons of genocide, their Air Force. I don't know the number of casualties or if there are any. There was a warning before the bombardment, and I saw footage of evacuating injured people and very ill people on stretchers and beds connected to hoses among the rubble that is everywhere in Gaza. First bombing of this hospital was on the 17th of October 23, with hundreds of casualties. It was one of the main, still disturbing sights since the start of this genocide. People were taking shelter around the hospital, and they were showered with a very powerful weapon that killed hundreds of people. If you remember the fierce denial from Israeli authorities on how they never did this and never bombed hospitals, and the strong argument that went on at the time. But today, it is more than clear that what Israel is doing is an attempt to take all means of life from Palestinians in Gaza. It is very curious, why would Israel bomb a hospital after evacuating it, if it clearly isn't a military target, clearly isn't a risk, clearly doesn't have fighters in it? Well, now, in 2025, April, we understand why. Palestinians knew that all along. But now we understand, everyone understands, that Israel is denying Palestinians any means of life. They're blocking in aid. They're cutting power. They're making Gaza unlivable. Since the first bombing of Al Ahli Hospital, Israel has bombed most hospitals in Gaza, all universities, all schools, all mosques, and many churches. In one word, Israel is committing a genocide. Yes. This is undeniable now. And why Israel is continuing to do so? It is for one simple reason. No one is stopping it. People in power all across the world hesitate before uttering the word genocide. They even apologize if they say it by mistake.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Israel needs to be confronted with its crimes and held accountable according to international law. And maybe today, Palm Sunday, is a chance to remember some of the values Jesus has taught humanity, and maybe to inspire us during this struggle. Jesus made the journey to Jerusalem on Palm Sunday with a clear understanding of the potential dangers and the ultimate sacrifice he was about to undergo. His actions were not naive, but rather courageous, and a purposeful step towards fulfilling what he believed to be his divine mission. Jesus also stood up to the religious authorities at the time and criticized the actions done in the temple. It was a direct challenge to both the religious establishment and the Roman rule, the colonizing Roman rule, I have to say. How much the world is lacking in courage today to stand up for a nation undertaking a genocide, to stand up for a nation undergoing a genocide, and to stand up against a nation that is committing this genocide. I understand that people in power are using their positions of power to suppress the pro-Palestine, anti-war movement.
Shame!
Even by weaponizing one of the worst forms of racism humanity has ever come up with, anti-Semitism. All to avoid the glaring sun of truth that there is a genocide ongoing in Gaza, and Israel is committing this genocide with American weapons and with international political cover. To these people in power, I say, where is Caesar or Judas or Pilatus right now? And where are the believers who stood by their moral convictions and ethics are right now? And to us, I say, keep strong. It may take time, but these seeds will soon bloom all across the world, similar to the ones who believed during a time of darkness and oppression. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.